I'm Tonya McGrath, executive producer and host of the PowerPLAY Show. As we wind down our celebration of women for National Women's Month, the PowerPLAY will be airing all week wonderful stories of women as we conclude our series, Empowering Women. Be sure to join us each night this week, that's Monday through Friday of this week, as I introduce you to more amazing women who are excelling in their fields and making a significant contribution to all of our lives. That's Empowering Women on the PowerPLAY Show.
From the studios at Hull Bay Productions, this is the PowerPLAY.
Welcome to the PowerPLAY Show. I'm your host, Tonya McGrath. If you haven't heard the name Medina Dixon, well, her story is the true definition of legendary. From the city of Cambridge to competing all around the world, Medina shattered records and earned dozens of honors, including national championships and playing for the 1992 women's basketball Olympic team. But it's her current fight which may be her biggest challenge. I sat down for a discussion with Medina Dixon with some of her closest friends and former teammates, Sharlene Blake, Katani Sumner, Rhonda Green, and RayTHOMAS of the RayTHOMAS Variety Show Live. Thank you all for being here today. I spent this time, getting to know a little bit about Medina Dixon. I have to say, I'm just beyond, impressed and it's just wonderful just learning about you. So, but I want to hear a little bit from your friends here, these women who are here to support you as well. Just give me your, let's start with you, Rhonda. Just give me your favorite Medina story or moment, which just kind of really represents why you are here today.
All right, well, see, I'm just so corny. You have to understand that Sharlene and Medina are a little older than I am, and Carol. So I actually came up playing basketball behind them. And I always just looked up to them. And I literally looked up to them.
That's right.
If you look at just even stature and height and all that good stuff. But I'll tell you, I used to just see Medina and I'd be like, wow. Like she's right there. I felt like a little kid in a candy store. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. And then I played basketball in high school, and so then to see Medina doing what she was doing at the college level, it just made me, I don't know, I thought it made me special because I was from here and I went to the same high school as Medina. So the guys always talk about, oh, Pat this, and I like Pat, don't get me wrong, but for me, it's all about Medina and getting it done. And, so I'm just happy to be a part of this because again, when you're a little kid and you have an opportunity as an adult to be in fellowship with people that you looked up to and admired then, and then you get to fellowship with them now, it's all love and it's special for me. So I'm just happy to be here. So no one moment.
Go ahead, show us that smile. Show us that smile. Show us that happy smile.
It's no one moment, but that's real. I can't, that's all.
And you mentioned looking up, because we should mention that Medina is 6'3". Is that right? Oh my goodness. So Katani, let's go to you next. Give us your reason, your Medina moment that made you want to be here today.
Well, it's like Rhonda says, it's not a moment, it's like a lifestyle. So Medina and I met when we were about 13 or 14, I would think. We met through legendary coach, Miss Harris, Alfreda Bootsy Harris, and we were supposed to play on a Black Olympics team together, but I think, Medina, you got a better offer, so then you went and did something else. I don't think you ever went with us to Pennsylvania. You kind of, she got the upgrade, but the rest of us went to Pennsylvania on Black Olympics. And then the following year, I actually played with Sharlene in youth games, and we went to Detroit. But so Medina and I became friends through local basketball, and so we've just been friends throughout the years. Beyond basketball, just kind of life highs and lows, and circumstances tend to bring us back together again. So I'm just here to be supportive of her, in this latest struggle. So that's why I am here.
And we will get to that in a second. But Sharlene, now did you and Medina play together?
Yes, we played a lot. We played a lot of basketball together. My first Medina Dixon moment was I was a sophomore at Cambridge Region Latin. So I had been there a year prior before she came to Cambridge Region Latin. So I had sort of been recruited by the head coach. He told me to show up, and I get there. I'm one of the tallest girls in the high school. I end up going out for basketball. I'm picked for the first 5 center. And so I had a fabulous year. And so sophomore year, Medina Dixon enters Cambridge Region Latin. And so it was like, she just came with everything we needed for that team at that time to make the combination for us to go on and win championships that came to Region Latin, state championships. I've had a lot of Medina Dixon moments, just winning championships, being in those moments, being in that type of competition. And at a time when, there was a lot of racial issues going on. We were going into these suburban towns, mostly minority white towns, and we were beating these teams by 30 and 40 points. Along with, mind you, got a boys basketball varsity team with Patrick Ewing that's also doing the same type of romping and stomping all over the state. And so, we were getting picked on and called names, and we had to tighten up on security. So we had that type of experience. And then the last one that I wanted to mention was we were both part of the first AAU New England girls 15 and under basketball team. I mean, now it's spread out. There's different, sectors that have teams. We were the first New England 15 and under. We were the only 2 blacks on the team. So we did a little bit of traveling with that. And I had a great experience playing with her on that level, junior Olympic level. And so after high school, she went on and did big things. And at that time, there was no really WNBA to dream of. So she went on to Old Dominion and went on to overseas. And I'm going to let her tell her story. But for me, it was very influential to see her, go on to those levels. Whereas when we started off, we couldn't see, anything like that happening. So she is definitely a legend that went on. And, I just want to make sure that all of Cambridge and, the girls basketball program knows about Medina Dixon, that like she is the stepping stone to the following championships they've had. And she had set the limit and set the bar, at a time when there was a lot of other societal issues going on. And I'm just going to let her go on and tell her story. But it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Well, and that's just such an incredible tribute to her. And just to give our audience a little bit more of Medina Dixon, after her college career ended, she went on to play 10 years professionally, including stints in Milan, Japan, and Russia, and a brief time in the ABL with the Columbus Quest. She competed for the 1990 U.S. national team in the World Championship. She earned a bronze medal as part of the U.S. national team in Cuba in the Pan American Games, and then went on to earn a spot in the 1992 Olympic team. Medina Dixon, what is, my goodness, talk about celebrity right here. What does it mean to have, these long-lasting friendships and just knowing what kind of contribution you made, not only to the city of Cambridge, but to basketball?
Yeah, it's interesting because I come from a huge family. I have 9 brothers and 2 sisters. So all of my relationships and friendships that I have built have been just like family to me. With Rhonda, she's happy to be a part of it, but they were all a part of what I did growing up. And they were there at a moment in time when I needed them as well as the team needed me. So it was all a growing experience for me. And to see the friendships now, to hear them talk about it, it's really awesome. I didn't know I had that kind of influence, but honestly, I was just being me, and we were young and they were being them, and it just carried over.
And, I read that you've really pretty much always been a fighter. And I know that you're in a fight right now, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But, I read something that when, you were starting to look at colleges, you were sending out letters and asking people about, well, what's their Black population in relation to student academics? What about the surrounding schools? What is the coach's philosophy? You really, really just kind of took a stand, and you really fought for what was best for you in terms of what your next step was? Have you always had that fight, that standing up for what you think is right in terms of, whether it was for women or for race, etc.?
Absolutely. Like I said, growing up with 9 brothers who some of them are male chauvinists. I guess they had a at that time, but I fought since I was 4, growing up. So, and I also got it from my parents. I've seen them fight. Like Sharlene said, we went through busing together, and that was a very, very difficult time.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, all of those experiences have been a part of life, and even the fight now is the same.
So let's talk about, what you're going through now. And I know that, we're all here in support of you. And I know that, your friends here are very much a part of, just being a part of your life and loving on you as much as you need to. So tell us exactly what is going on now. Tell our audience what is going on now.
Right now, I'm in a fight with pancreatic cancer. I was diagnosed April 18th. I believe it was 2018. And fortunate that we caught it stage 1. But it is still a cancer that has a very high mortality rate.
Yeah.
And it's something that when it does come back, it's usually not very good. I've been fortunate enough to get in a program, and this program is very good for me. It's literally keeping me alive. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing this treatment. It's brand new. I was only the 2nd person in it. The other person has passed away. So it is a constant fight every day.
Can I just?
Yeah, go ahead, Rhonda.
I just when Medina was just speaking on that, and it's a new, trial and program. It just makes me think about how we're not involved in a lot of these clinical studies, and so I'm just really glad that Medina is a part of this clinical study, because that's big right now with everything that's going on, and as Black women, our history with clinical studies and medical things, just having her out there, to me, is just another reason that we need to be here, to be able to push this narrative, that we need to be able to get involved, and it's a healthy fear about getting involved in these things. I'm not trying to diminish that, but I'm just grateful, and I know it's brought me to a new place in my own relationship with just watching Medina and what she's doing to fight for herself. Believe it or not, I consider it a fight for my life as well. Just thinking about the mortality rate of pancreatic cancer, how it affects the African American community at a much more prolific rate, and things that we can do. But that whole clinical medical testing, I just think is so important, and I'm just glad that she's able to be a part of that, and it just sends another message that we need to take advantage of, and so I'm appreciative.
Right. So let me ask you this, Medina, as well, in regards to when it was first offered to you, because obviously we've experienced a lot of those clinicals and how they utilize people of color as, testing, let's say, dummies per se, where they weren't really giving us the true treatment. They gave the true treatment to others, but they gave us, the wrong treatment. So was there any apprehension when you heard about this new, clinical study that they were about to perform?
Of course, absolutely. But, for me, it was once I was diagnosed, I became a huge advocate for my health. So I had many questions going into it every day. I was not going to be a part of something that I didn't have answers to. And they were very good with that. And that is why I decided to do the research center in my name. I thought it's going to be helpful down the line.
Okay. Yeah, so you've always been a trailblazer anyways, right? So it's like you're a frontierswoman, always on the cutting edge of everything that's new and fresh. Because I have to say this, with me growing up with a sister that played ball, she was, my role model in regards to athletics, because I was watching her, being her younger brother. I would see her go into practice, whether it was basketball, volleyball, or running track, what she did in high school. But I remember I was enamored when she actually brought you to the neighborhood. I believe it was you and Sharlene that actually came to the neighborhood. And it might have been a time where you just came back from college. And, we lived over at Linwood Courts. And so just to have, the championship players from, and Sharlene, you guys know that you guys were big time in Cambridge.
Yeah.
When it came to women ballers and stuff like that, I knew who the women ballers were. So I looked up to you guys. And so just for my sister, I'm like, man, my sister must be some kind of big thing too. But she's just my sister. She was a big part of it. Yeah, she was a big part of those championships. Yeah. So, and then I would think as a youngster, wow, she's playing in all these big arenas in front of all these people. And she's just like really cool, calm, and collected. My sister's always had a quiet, low-key style personality, but whenever I saw her on the basketball court, it was a totally different person.
Yeah, a whole different person, yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to get this plug in. That's why you see I have my Warriors hoodie back there, and I rock the brown and the gold for the Warriors today.
That's right.
Well too. So I just wanted to put that in there to let you guys know my affection that I had for you guys growing up as well too. Yes, there was Patrick Ewing and Bill Ewing and Carl Hobbs and all those other guys, but I came from a household where the women dominated, so I knew who the women were, and I had a lot of respect for the women and your game as well too. So I just want to get that off my chest so you guys know that you have a big supporter right here from a guy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and Medina, you were enshrined in the Cambridge Region Latin Hall of Fame in 1997, and just to raise point, just the trailblazing that you and your teammates Sharlene and others had.
Actually, I have a correction. She was indicted into it was called the Friends of Cambridge Hall of Fame. It wasn't the Cambridge Region Latin Hall of Fame.
Okay.
There's two different organizations. So right now we're in the process of being assured at the high school. It's in the process of being framed. We're going to have a ceremony for that within the next 30 to 60 days. We're also working on getting her indicted into the Hall of Fame at Cambridge Region Latin in the school. And so with that, we have a city ordinance coming. We have a whole ceremony. So I just want to put that out there too, that she's about to be really recognized in the city of Cambridge for all that she's given. And we're in the process of planning that very shortly. So we'll keep you tuned.
That's awesome. And if you're listening, Cambridge Region Latin in city of Cambridge, make that happen.
You know what? Let me say this real quick on this, because it's Women's History Month as well too, man. And I'm kind of like, I've always been a fighter and a supporter of women's rights, because growing up, my mother was my role model. Everything that I wanted to achieve in life, she's the one that set the standard, because she left Jamaica, because originally we're from Jamaica. So she left Jamaica at a young age, left all of us and my dad back in Jamaica, and came over here and started working, to get us over here. And to see something like that, a Medina Dixon is not in the Cambridge Region Latin Hall of Fame. And then I see some of the younger people that these past decades are already enshrined in there. That is definitely like a no-no. That's one of those Matumbo things.
I think some piece of the problem is that
fix it.
And a piece of the problem of that is that a lot of the administrators that were there when we were there are no longer there. So that played a major role. That the athletic department sort of switched over. I was head coach at Cambridge Latin for some years, and then I came back and did a freshman program. And since I've been gone. The athletic department has made a total transition. So, but they're all on board now. So that's what's important right now, is that they're all on board now. She is in there for the highest, I think over 1,000 points. She's on the banner for one of the highest scores, over 1,000 points. But we're going to retire her shirt now. You know, no one else is going to wear that number, and she's really going to be put out there so that they know the history of the girls basketball at Cambridge. The piece of the history. There's a lot of history.
Yeah.
When I came there, they was already in championship mode, and I came with seniors that were leaving. And so when I got to my sophomore year, here came Medina, and we carried on the winning tradition, you know. Right. So and I'll end with this. Anytime I played Medina, we won. We were champions. Championship. We took the whole kit and caboodle. It wasn't, you know. So that's the mentality that I coached with. That's what all I knew was championship. You know. So that was another piece that she's given me. You know, to know that feeling.
You hear that, Tonya?
To know what it is to win. You know.
Tonya, you hear that, right? Because I don't know how many championships they had at Brookline High. I'm just saying.
Anyways, listen, one of the other phrases that have been used to describe you, Medina, and I want to get reaction from the other ladies first, is that you were known for talking the talk. And so let's start with you, Katina. What did that mean, like talking the talk?
I think the term is talking the talk and being able to walk the talk. So she could talk trash, but she could back it up. So it's okay if you can talk it, as long as you can do it. So, you know, that's what it's about. You know, her nickname is Ice Woman, because it's kind of like ice in her veins, you know. So she's a beast on the court, and, you know, she's just very chill. So that's why my interpretation of talking the talk and walking the walk, you know. Amen. Yes.
Amen.
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 Rhonda, what is your philosophy with this?
I just look, Ice Woman, just smooth, just real. Look, cold-blooded too on the court, just straight cold-blooded. And the fact that, watch this, we'll call it talking trash. It's not talking trash if you backing it up. It's not trash. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know the right word to use, just speaking facts. And so, like, I just remember playing, and I didn't talk much. I ain't talk much because I wasn't Medina. I was never gonna be right. But guess what? That swag, I think I carried that swag with me as well, because I stepped on the courts in Cambridge. I played with Carol, was my running buddy, believe it or not, even if she was 4 years older than me. So I played in that era. I played with Juanita Matthews on the courts, pick up ball. But let me tell you, when I talk about talk, yo, it was just fun. It was just fun. And so then I was able to get on the court and just do what I did. And I have to worry about it because, look, your game will speak for itself.
Right.
Medina she was just cold like that. And that's just what I remember. Just, if you're going to be out there doing it, be good at what you're doing. And I didn't think I could step on the Cambridge court with anything less than bringing my all in all because of what came before me.
I read a quote, and I'm going to have Medina respond to this. If it's the first quarter and they let me play my kind of game, it's all over. What's your kind of game?
I think however I'm feeling that night, or whatever they put on the court, whatever they put out there, if they allow me to figure it out and not respond or retaliate, then yeah, it's over.
It's a wrap.
But wait, can I answer the question? Can I answer that question? So I'm sorry. Repeat the question. What you asked Rhonda and Katani about.
So I heard that she has been known to talk the talk.
Listen, I've heard the pregame talks, the huddle talks, the halftime talks, the after the game talks, the in the shower talks.
Yeah.
And it always got us fired up. You know what I mean? Like we wore this, and I can't even explain it. It brings tears to my eyes to think about just the moments, you know, the power that we had as we walked in. We had won all these games, you know what I mean? And people were looking, the bets were on us, you know, and it was hard times. And every time we played we had a continuous battle with Salem, Mass, I think. And they had a girl there with same height as Medina, and they always built it up. And they weren't there to hurt us. They wanted to injure us. first of all. So they were really official fouls. You know what I mean? We took a lot of hits, and it was, so every game we won, we earned that game. And she brought the mentality of what we had to do. She set the example, she set the bar. If you want to be in the paper, you may be playing like Medina Dixon's playing. You know what I mean? Like she said, at that high school level, that's what you're thinking. Like I want to be in the headlines, I want to be, all that too. So you do what you got to do because it takes a team to do that. So, but.
Look, when we walked into the gym, a few years later, it was y'all's reputation that came with us. Yeah. So we didn't improve, then shame on us. So I know, okay, we didn't get the golden chip when we were there. There's some issues behind that too. I'm not even gonna get into that, but whatever. We know what it's like playing 7-on-5, whatever. But but that's real talk. But it's y'all it's y'all's fault. If y'all weren't that good, they would have been coming at us the way they was coming at us for years to come. And what I'm saying is that was set up by y'all, by how hard y'all always played, by the swag that you had when you walked into the gym. It wasn't only about, it was the ultimate putting the ball in the basket, definitely. But the swag, come on.
Well, it was a
you
work
can't
ethic.
Carry that. Yeah,
she brought a work ethic. She grew up with brothers, so she brought a work ethic. It was like, we were playing like guys, like we was like, you know what I mean? And she brought that work ethic, that mentality, and
it trickled down to even, like I said, when I came into the high school in '82 when Carol was leaving. You need to understand that, right? But it was that work ethic and putting it in hard. And then, guess what? They played over in Boston. Well, you didn't ask to play in Boston. You didn't have to ask. If you were good enough, they came and got you. And I just feel good that Miss Harris came and got me. Do you see what I'm saying? And so to know that, Katani, Medina, all, set the foundation, that AAU 15 and under, it was there and we rocked it because y'all set that up. And she brought us everywhere. Well, my mother didn't let me go to Mexico. She made me go to Upper Bound, but that's a whole nother story. But you know what I'm saying? But I was on that team, and I made that team. My mother just kept me in school with certain things. But but once again, it was that swag, that work ethic, that mentality that y'all carried in Medina. Like that as a kid, I'm looking at it going, yeah, whatever. You all can't tell me anything. If I bring my game, that's what's gonna happen. And so that's set up by that generation in front of me, and Medina definitely. So that's where I'm coming in.
Medina, what does it mean to you? We only have 3 women here, but I can imagine that your legacy, the way you have impacted women's sports, women's basketball, not just in the city of Cambridge, through Old Dominion, through around the world. You've played around the world. What does it mean to you to be able to have this kind of impact for future female basketball players?
Hopefully it's positive. Like I said, I don't really look at it as doing something to help them or contribute, or I give them the information and I give them what they need, the tools, and then they have to take it and go from there. Not everyone can be a leader. You have to be able to deal with all types of criticism, whether it's positive or negative. But to know that you've touched lives for me, I think that's a great honor. It's a great feeling for me.
Katani, what would you say is the most important contribution that Medina has made in the city of Cambridge?
I don't live in Cambridge, but I can say the contribution she's made as being one of the best female basketball players to come out of the entire state of Massachusetts. I think it's really important that representation is crucial. So she represents excellence in athletics for Black women, for women in general. And what are you seeing in the rest of the country of not being able to acknowledge the significance and importance of Black women? Black women got us the new president. Black women have been the backbone, and it's only now that they're starting to look at, how significant we are. So I think the more that we can get Medina's legacy out in the public, the more we can get her, her image of just being a survivor. Basketball, physical, emotional, it's just a hard road. When you're one of those first ones, before there was a WNBA, Sorry, I'm a teacher. That's the end of school bell. But anyway, you know, it's
Okay.
just, it's really important. You know, everybody knows who Patrick Ewing is. Everybody should, you know, they were the same era, similar accomplishments. You know, very few people have won a state title and a national championship and gone on to the Olympics. That's huge. She's in rare air. There aren't that many. So we need to blow that up. That's what I think is important.
Charlene,
To breathe that air.
Charlene, what are you most proud of being able to have played with Medina and just, you know, carry this friendship on for so many decades?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough question. What am I most proud of? Just the fact that, like, it's true that, like, true friendship does exist. Like, you know, we lost track for a number of years, but when we caught up to each other again, we just picked back up where we left off at. You know what I mean? So the sisterhood bond had been planted, you know, in our youth, you know, and it was something strong. We built a lot of memories. We made history together. Talk about that AAU team. I'll never forget it. I know she's gone on and won multiple more awards, but for me, that was like, I look at the picture now, I looked at it today, like, we're the only two Black girls in that picture. And I was thinking back to just, you know, being there in those moments and being selected, because that was something done across the state, and for them to pick both of us. They could have picked something Medina and anyone else. Also, to have been there, to be there with her,
and I think
allowed me to feel, I kind of like, you know, like I said, she stepped in sophomore year, I was going to be the star. She stepped in and I had to adjust, but it was she didn't come in like, I'm the star, there's no room for anyone else. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, there was room, you could be who you wanted to be. She wasn't there to take over the program. She was being her, as awesome as she was, which led us to state championships and gave us the tools to be us. You know, and I was able to ride a little bit of that ride with her, and that's what I'm proud of. I was able to hold on a little bit, you know, to certain levels, and we went our separate ways, you know. And I love her like a sister.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people. I think it's important for people to understand as well, too, as you guys went through your process and the experience of playing together, is that, yes, Medina stood out, but also everybody else stood out as well, too, because it was a collective effort from the entire team. And that's what I remembered most about, you know, girls basketball at Cambridge Ringen Latin High School. I mean, I viewed it as just as much as the boys basketball team, you know, in regards to fundamentals. You know, you guys, I mean, Medina was shooting a jump shot like a guy. And I'm like, oh man, when I get older, I need to make sure I have a jump shot like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, guys have jump shots, but you didn't really see women with jump shots.
Right.
Finger
and
rolling.
that's why
like,
they call her Ice.
I mean,
that's why
all
her
these
name's
kind
Ice.
of things that you,
That's why it's Ice Woman.
You guys were making impressions way back then, but like Medina's saying, you've been going through life and doing what we do.
I wanted to say what I was most proud of with about Sharlene was that I finally made her realize that she could go to college free if she played ball.
That's important.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
that is huge.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's
Good for you.
Of it, I'm so proud of her. She's still in school now.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something to being the only flies in the milk. There's something to that. Let me tell you something. I looked at a couple of team pictures when I was being recruited, and I didn't play basketball at the college level. I was recruited to play. I got accepted to play. I had offers to play. But I'm not gonna lie, I looked at the picture. I was like, man, there's no other Black people there. And I couldn't do it. And I just couldn't do it. Trying to send me to Cheney State out in Hampshire. Come on now. Man, New Hampshire would have never been the same, but neither would I have been. And I ended up going to Hampton University in Virginia, which ended up being an HBCU.
Okay.
But you need to understand that when I even applied, I didn't even know that it was a Black school. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know it was a Black school, but I knew Medina was in Virginia, and I knew Hampton was in Virginia. That's what I knew. So I knew it was safe. I can get to Virginia, and I'd still be able to get home. You know what I mean? So that's just real talk, right there. I mean, for me, in terms of my own skill level, I made sure I walked on to the team. I made sure I was able to make the team. They offered me a scholarship. And then social situations, the team wasn't for me. So I had to find other things to do. And I'm the rebel that you know today because of basketball and what was placed before me. And I carry that swag. Doesn't matter, I haven't played ball like that since, officially since high school, but I've coached, developed basketball leagues, brought girls within AAU. I've done my thing, have been offered positions at coaching levels at Division III schools and all that kind of stuff. So basketball's always been a part of my life, but it's because of the history of what happened in Cambridge with Medina and that crew before me. And I'll never, ever forget that. But trust, like, I have mad swag because of where I came from.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all I was going to say.
I just want to say, if I were to make like a final statement, it's like Medina exemplifies the importance of what an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a group or a team. And it's real important. I think Medina knows that it wasn't just her. She's got a phenomenal talent, but it still took a team to go far. And she's smart enough to know that it's important to have a village of people who are still here to support you, because you don't want to be out there on your own when you're struggling with anything, whether it's, you're on a basketball team or you're struggling with the fight of your life with cancer. It's always important to have a team. And I'm just happy to be a part of this team of friends. We play together. I'm 5'8" on a good day. Used to be. I'm probably 5'7" and some change now. But, I was maybe a 2 or 3 guard. But the reality is, I'm not going to be a center. I'm not going to be a superstar basketball player, but we have other skills and other talents. And, Medina would jokingly say, I forget the guy you called me, Deli or somebody, whatever. But I have great basketball IQ. So you need people on the team who are going to make sure they're the defenders. They're going to rebound. They're going to box out or do whatever. And I love being a support player. I don't need to be the superstar. I just want to win. Just like Sharlene. Let's just win. Let's get this done. What do we need to do? If Medina's going to block and dunk and score, somebody's got to play D. Somebody's got to do that. And just having the sense to know it's good to have a team. It's good to have a crew. And so we're just a small segment of Medina's crew. Like she said, she got a huge family. Then she's got her college crew. She's got her overseas crew. So I'm just happy to be here with you, to ride this out.
Real talk. That's real talk.
My battery's dying, you guys.
Okay, so before your battery dies, I gotta ask you one question, Medina, because it's really prevalent in the news right now, right? That the NCAA tournament is in full effect, and obviously the women are playing for their Final Four as well. And you saw the disparity in regards to the workout facilities, right? I wanted you guys to touch upon that, because I thought that was really like a major insult from the NCAA in that regard.
I want to hear Medina talk. I want to hear Medina on that. I want to hear Medina on that one.
It's despicable, and it has been going on for so long that it's becoming a joke right now on TikTok. That's how bad it is. But it's always been that disparity, and we have lived with it. We have fought for it. And I'm hoping now that these young girls can take it and go the rest of the way with it.
Yeah, and I think it's really an advantage for us to have these social media platforms at this time, because you see that there are a lot of professional women as well as men coming in support of that as well too, that says, come on, NCAA, you need to be doing better.
No doubt.
Hopefully that precedent that was set at the WNBA level with that major bombshell, awesome contract that they got through, hopefully there'll be some trickle down to the collegiate level, in recognizing that we're watching, we're not stopping anymore. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and they will continue. If you want to be a TikTok blast, then that's what you'll be. But we're gonna call you out, because this is ridiculous. So that's my say.
Yeah. I appreciate all of you just having this wonderful conversation. Medina, it goes without saying that you will be in my prayers. I wish you the very best in your treatment. in your health. And, you know, Cambridge, let's get this done. Let's honor this legend that is Medina Dixon. It is to say it is so far overdue is the understatement of the year.
Right.
So we will get this done. I will be there. So just let me know. I'm going to be there with my camera and everything else, and we'll get this done. But I thank you all. Rhonda Green, Katani Blake, and
Sumner.
I'm sorry, Katani
Sharlene
Sumner
Blake.
and Sharlene Blake.
Thank you.
She just got married.
And of course,
Yes.
Medina Dixon, it was such a pleasure meeting you and having you. Best of luck to you, and you know, prayers for best wishes for your health and your treatment.
Thank
Thank
you.
let me
you,
say-
everyone.
All right, thanks everyone. This is great.
Before we go, let's also, if people want to assist, because I know there's been talks about a Medina Dixon Foundation as well too. If they want to get more information about that, obviously I believe that there is some way that they can reach out, correct, to get more information on that.
Gina, what's your website? Do you have the website for your gear? You can even, she has apparel that she's selling too to support her efforts. MD, maybe you can link it to your
Great.
the program comes out. Yeah,
We'll definitely do that.
yeah, we'll do that. Thank you. So that's the hope. Yeah, we'd love to be able to establish a Medina Dixon pancreatic cancer research center. Because do you know that pancreatic cancer is the #1 increasing cancer among Black people? That was news for me. So it's really important that we get this information out. It's taking out more Black folks so people are aware that colon cancer is terrible. Chadwick Boseman, raised the awareness about how bad colon cancer is, but pancreatic cancer is worse than that. So we need to really increase the awareness. And Medina Dixon will be a spokesperson for that as well.
Yes.
So thank you. Medina,
Thank
you
you,
good?
guys.
Any last words?
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
What a powerful story. Remember, you can listen to past episodes of the Power Play wherever you subscribe to podcasts, including iTunes, iHeartRadio, and now Pandora Podcasts. You can also watch our interviews on YouTube. Simply search the Hull Bay Productions Media channel and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. So be sure to tune into the Power Play Show each night this week for a new episode highlighting our Empowering Women series, or listen to the Power Play each day at 5 p.m. on BroncoIRadio.com or wherever you subscribe to podcasts, or simply visit thepowerplayshow.com. As I'm doing in this series, I would like to highlight a woman who has inspired me and our guests today, have had a huge role in making this decision for me. Cheryl Denise Swoops was the first player to be signed in the inaugural season of the WNBA in 1997. Swoops is a 3-time WNBA MVP and was named one of the league's top 15 players of all time at the 2011 WNBA All-Star Game. Swoop has won 3 Olympic gold medals and is one of 10 women's basketball players to have won an Olympic gold medal, an NCAA championship, and a WNBA title. And in 2017, she was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Perhaps if the world could have been a bit more progressive in creating a women's professional basketball league just a few years earlier, we most certainly would have been mentioning Medina Dixon as one of the league's most valuable players. Until next time, I'm Tonya McGrath. Put on a mask, stay safe, and protect each other.